Hi. All right, here's a question from Everessence Forever 100. Anyway, this person writes, I'm done with nutritional rehabilitation. I don't have any mental hunger, but I have excessive sweating. It's not normal to sweat that much. Do you think that this is something to do with recovery? I'm in recovery all in for 10 months and body is fine. I stopped gaining weight about 2 months ago. Could be, couldn't it? So the thing is that a lot of the time with the excessive sweating like that, it's to do with hypermetabolism. And so if you've got hypermetabolism, you notice other things as well. Most of us sweat mostly at night when we have hypermetabolism. But with my hypermetabolism, you often have really big mental hunger and often physical hunger as well. Not all the time. But it sounds like if you say, and I'm going to take you at your word here, that you don't have mental hunger, you feel that you're nutritionally rehabilitated, that you're eating without restriction and you've stopped gaining weight, then if we're going to assume that you are nutritionally rehabilitated, then the question is why are you continuing to sweat that much? And I'm assuming also that you're saying that before you had an eating disorder, you didn't sweat as much. Most of us don't sweat while we have an eating disorder. I mean, some do, and a lot of that can be due to metabolic stuff if you do sweat a lot when you have an eating disorder. But I know for me, I never sweat, never got hot enough to sweat. That might be something. There could be a lot of different things going on there. I obviously cannot, I'm not a doctor, and without really exploring that with you, I can't necessarily give you a definitive answer to this question. I do think that if it's something that worries you or concerns you, or even is just inconvenient, you don't want to be sweating the whole time. Right now I'm in 35-degree weather, so that's normal if I was outside to be sweating the whole time. But if you're just inside and just sweating a lot, well, that would be annoying. So if that's the case, then I do think it's something that you probably need to go and get checked out. It could be anything going on with your endocrine system. Sometimes, and this is the thing, you are only, and this is the reason I wouldn't necessarily worry. I wouldn't worry if I were you. It's like the sort of thing, you know what, go and get stuff checked out if you just want to be on the safe side. It's no harm to that, is there? As long as you don't pay any attention to anything stupid that your doctor might say. But you should know better than that at this point anyway. And when I say that, I mean, of course, I'm relating to your unrestricted eating or anything like that. But hopefully they'll stay out of that and just address the problem in hand that you are presenting them with. So generally, if you're worried about something, you should go and get it checked out. But what I'm saying is at 10 months into recovery, I wouldn't be that worried about it at this time, because it can just take a lot of time for our endocrine system to fully sort itself out. You haven't mentioned whether you've got your menstrual cycle or anything like that, but there's just a ton of hormonal shit that can be all up in the air and all over the place in recovery. And you may feel like you're completely nutritionally rehabilitated, but maybe your body is actually still sorting some things out. I mean, that would be my guess just from the 3-line thing that I've just read out. But like I said, I'm not talking with you. I'm reading out a question that you wrote. I do not have the full picture. So always the safest thing is to go and get it checked out by somebody with a medical degree. However, if what you're asking me, is this unheard of in recovery? Absolutely not. I don't think there's anything that's unheard of in recovery, honestly, but this is certainly not something that's unheard of in recovery. I have known a number of people who have experienced something very similar to this, and weird stuff, not just excessively sweating, but noticing that their sweat smells different than it did before, and just all this stuff. And it's all hormonal changes. And most of us do go through what I call second puberty. If you didn't have your first puberty, it could be the first puberty for some of us, but you're going to go through puberty when you're in recovery as well, just because there's that amount of hormonal shifts and changes and things starting up again. And so that could be what is causing this. So it may be something that you find that when all of that properly does settle down, if you just continue doing what you're doing with your unrestricted eating, which seems like you've done great at, continue doing that, you may find that it settles down, because it was just all of these hormones trying to work themselves out. All right, hope that helps. Bye.